My name is Bhawani Singh Pathania and I am a second time MLA from Fatehpur constituency in district Kangra in Himachal. My political career basically spans only about 2 odd years, and prior to this I was working in the corporate. My experience primarily has been in BFSI, banking, financial services, insurance, etc. And I have worked with companies like ICICI Bank, ICICI Prudential, PNB MetLife, GE SBI, a couple of FMCG companies like Balsara and Wipro. So overall 23 years of corporate experience, another 2.5 years I've been there in the political field, and I primarily contested one of the by-elections in 2021 from Himachal, and then the general election in 2022, and hence I am here today in front of you. So Fatehpur as a constituency is a 100% rural constituency, and if you look at the demographic setup, total population roughly about 1,10,000, total voters approximately 86,000. Total gram panchayats, we have the entire constituency is split into 52 gram panchayats, about 1,242 revenue villages. And if you want to look at the habitations as we define as per the irrigation and public health sector, closely about 1,100 plus habitations are there. So it's a like I said, there is no urban pocket at all. 100% rural constituency. People primarily relying on agriculture. People primarily relying on the government sector, the government jobs, the private jobs. A lot of army men, a lot of people in the defense services. So that is what the demographic setup of Fatehpur is. No, so see, frankly, we do not know what to expect out here. But I definitely, from my end, what I want to take away from here is I want to have a lot of interaction with the senior legislators of maybe other states. We definitely would be able to get some kind of inputs from people in terms of the developmental activities, in terms of the government schemes, in terms of the implementation and the challenges that we are facing in terms of implementation. Maybe someone has a better view or a better idea in terms of maybe de-risking that entire process. So want to have a lot of interaction and also try to learn from the senior members. No, see, the point is very simple. I don't think politicians can be created in the classroom. I'm very clear on that front. I never wanted to be in politics. Like I said, I was in corporate. I was at a very, very senior level. And when you are thrust into the world of politics, suddenly you realize the skills that you require are not the skills which perhaps you would be utilizing on day-to-day basis. So my bit is that yes, the universities and the courses, they can help you getting some kind of an insight. But in order to get into politics, in order to get into policy making, in order to influence the policy making in the positive direction, the participation of people right from maybe, I won't say childhood would be too early, but from school level, I think people need to get involved in all the institutions like gram panchayats, institutions like, we need to define what a development block is. People need to understand what the functioning of a tehsil is. People need to understand what the revenue, parameters are. So all I'm saying is that the in-depth understanding of how the system works, that is something which prepares you better as a politician or as a political leader in terms of solving the issues of the people. So the universities, I think one role that they can play is to ensure that the foundation in terms of the understanding of the system of administration, that needs to be given. But 90% of the work basically is on the ground, interacting with people, understanding what the core issues are, and then trying to marry your knowledge along with this into something which is a win-win situation for all. No, it is not an issue which is limited to my constituency alone. The biggest issue that India faces today is the issue of employment. I understand you guys are also students, right? But when you will be thrust into the job market, is there something that we have concrete today because the government sector is not hiring enough, and the government sector is not hiring enough for various reasons, right? So there are a lot of vacancies, about 3 lakh vacancies in railways. In Himachal alone, there were about 1.5 lakh vacancies in the government sector. So one is government sector recruitment is not happening. Second, the army, which was the mainstay for Himachal per se, that the recruitments now have been reduced to an Agniveer or a 4-year kind of a program. So the problem that we have is the problem of employment. The biggest problem that you see is that the generation, the demographic dividend of India, the population between the age of 18 to 24, there is a lot of lot of hopelessness which is residing there, primarily because the moment I finish my education, the moment I do my graduation, I do my post graduation, and after that there is nothing else for me to do, or the job that I am getting is way below my education qualification. So that is the issue for Fatehpur as a constituency, and that I see is an issue for the state of Himachal Pradesh, and that exactly is the issue for India as a nation. No, so first election, like I said, it was a by-election. It was against the government, and in a by-election what happens is that the ruling government definitely has an edge over an opposition party. So like I said, that the acceptability from the people primarily was that they saw me as someone who was speaking a language which was perhaps different from what they have been hearing till now. My party as well as me, I did not concentrate on those mundane issues like Bijli, Sadak and Pani. My core focus was only one, and that focus was making sure that we find avenues for employment generation, or we get the resources or the investment into the constituency, which basically directly or indirectly will fuel the growth, and that growth in terms will fuel the job creation. So I only have been concentrating last 2.5 years only on one thing, which is finding avenues to create jobs, increasing the opportunities for tourism, increasing the opportunities for industrialization, increasing the opportunities for urbanization, and hence once the investment starts flowing in, the issue of joblessness that goes away, and you definitely want to get into something which is fueling the job growth within the constituency. So that was my primary focus, and I must say that I got a lot of support from youth, I got a lot of support from women, and I got a lot of support from people who basically wanted a better future for their children, and hence, in spite of not being in the government and being a by-election, I sailed through very easily. See, political hero, again, like I said, you cannot have, you can't have one person as an idol, but I do believe that this nation, we are what we are today, the heights that we have achieved in the world strata in terms of the fabric that we have today. That fabric is conducive for every kind of growth that you can look at. It's an inclusive growth. It's basically something which is a role model for the rest of the world. And the biggest hero, the founder of this all, was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. I always have idealized Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and his philosophy. If he was not there, perhaps India would have been maybe another Pakistan. So all I'm saying is that a leader with a vision, a leader who basically said one thing, that our self-reliance is paramount to us. So what you did is that we were actually surviving on food grain which was being imported from Russia and other countries. What he did is he focused on making sure that irrigation facilities come into those areas where the food grain can be grown. Bhakra came in, Hirakud came in, Nangal Dam came in, Pong Dam came in. Because of that, the reliance on rain alone went away. We became self-reliant. Post that, if you see the infrastructure that has been put in terms of the PSUs, why PSUs were required at that point in time? Because no private entrepreneur would have opened a factory which is not making profits, but we needed those capital goods to make sure that industrial revolution happens in India. So the PSUs came in, PSUs ensured that job creation happened, PSUs ensured that whatever equipment that we require, if you look at the entire workflow of what Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru has done for the country, I seriously believe that you don't need any other hero to idealize, because I believe we owe our existence in terms of the nation that we have today to him. See, life philosophy again is very simple, that this is not the career that I wanted when I was actually growing up, right? I was a corporate guy. I was a BFSI guy. I was concentrating on, getting funding for the company. I was concentrating on getting new tie-ups, new partnerships for the company. But when I was thrust into this, see, basically what you need to see is that what is your core objective of coming into a particular thing, right? Is it to make money or is it to do something else? So I was making truckloads of money in my erstwhile career. So I knew I am in politics not for money, but to ensure that we somewhere create an impact that not only is for you or your constituency, but that impact needs to change lives of people that you're in touch with. So that is exactly what I do. My working style is exactly what I would do in a corporate. We start at 9 o'clock on dot. We meet people, we try to make sure that all the mundane issues are sorted out, but also the philosophy is to make sure that once you start getting in touch with people, are you impacting their lives in a positive manner or no? So what I try to do is make sure that you are impacting the lives of people you are in touch with on a positive note. And for me, the positive note or my biggest, like I said, my challenge as well as my goal is either to provide employment or to create opportunities that will make sure that employment is generated in a particular constituency. See, Indian democracy again can be interpreted in various manners, right? So, democracy for a layman means that more the number of people, right, your voice would be heard. It's not that. Democracy basically means that a single group, which is the biggest. So, let us say if there are two separate groups, one group with 51 will basically have a better say. But let us say if there are fragments or if there are subgroups, even a person with 11, if you have 12 or 13 groups, a person with 11% votes might be able to claim that they are the biggest group. What, the biggest feature or the best feature of this country or our democracy is we believe in inclusiveness, right? Our thought process needs to make sure that when I say inclusiveness and when I say that the law, when I say that my policies, when I say that whatever I am doing has to be equal for everyone, that basically is what defines us, right? Because India is not a country, India is a continent, India is an ocean, right? If you see the number of states, the number of languages, the number of bolis that we have, the number of, every big state is bigger than Germany, right? Gujarat or Uttar Pradesh, UP has more population than entire Indonesia. Similarly, Gujarat has a bigger population than maybe Germany. Himachal Pradesh at 75 lakhs has a bigger population than entire Switzerland. So, what needs to be done is that we need to identify, we need to acknowledge our differences. Our differences are language differences, our differences are cultural differences, our differences are our food habits, the way we dress up. But once you recognize that, then you need to make sure that everyone is united by one thought, and that thought is the idea of our nation, and that is the idea of India. And that thought has to be common, and it is common across, the length and breadth of the country. That is what makes our democracy the most vibrant democracy that is there in the world. No, I don't. It's very difficult because, like I said, this decision was, very sudden for me, and my wife and my kids, they are not living with me at this point in time because the kids are still studying. So maybe I try to ensure that we maintain some kind of a semblance of normalcy by I split my time between my family, my constituency, and Shimla, which basically is a headquarter where the seat of the government is, and all the the official work happens from that. So like I said, there is no work-life balance. It is either work or life. So that's how it is at this point in time. See, my biggest strength is my ability to say it on your face whether the work can happen or no. See, I am a very, very transparent, I am a very, blunt kind of a person. Now, someone, politicians primarily will not say no to someone, right? If a politician says no, he is not a politician. But what happens is that if I, give you false hope, I might be able to sustain for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. But beyond that, one fine day, you will realize that whatever I am telling you is all trash, right? And when you actually, go away from me, you are actually taking away a lot of other support also from my side, right? So it's always better to be blunt. It is always better to be, very, very, not to be economical with the truth, and it is always better to be as transparent as you possibly can. So like I said, my core forte basically and my biggest strength is I'm very blunt, I'm very in your face, I will say, I'll call a spade a spade. You might not like it at that moment, but in the long run, you definitely will say that whatever you were saying was right. I don't believe that moment has still happened, but I get those public life moments almost every week, right? Is when someone comes into you or to your house, or when you've gone somewhere, or on a SMS, or maybe on one of these phone calls, that sir हमारा काम हो गया, या देखो मेरा जो है ये इसका my house was almost on the verge of collapse. I've already got the grant from the government. You helped me do that. आपने हमारा retaining wall लगा दिया. I've saved whatever my field from getting washed away. So every day, whatever you are doing for the people, and when they acknowledge, and when they actually tell you that somewhere you have made their life slightly better, I think that is the high that keeps me going. It's not something very big or something very major, but on daily basis, the small little things that keep on happening, they keep motivating me and keep me going forward. See, politics, like I said, don't believe in politics on the basis of the Bollywood movies that you see. That's what my sincere advice is, right? Ultimately, if you see, see what is the image of a politician today? The image of a politician is that he is someone who basically is a gunda, he is someone who basically is loaded with corruption. There are exceptions, right? You will find such people there, but those people perhaps would be less than 10%. Rest of the people, like all the people I've interacted with in last 1.5 to 2 years, everyone has actually risen from the ground level up, right? They have slogged 24 hours a day for I don't know how long. They have made sure that they have earned people's respect and they have earned people's trust. They have actually got those votes, right, which people have voted for them, their constituencies. And on that, when you see the kind of work that they are doing, it is stupendous, right? Because a normal politician's life, like I said, it is not for them or their families. Ultimately, they are in the field, they are with the people. So my sincere advice is, first of all, if you want to enter politics, please be very clear in terms of what you want to do and why are you here. If you are here to make money, please don't come, because you will be polluting the pond further, right? If you are here to make a difference to the society, make a difference to your ecosystem, make a difference to the youth of the country, please enter. But that entering is not something which is automatic in nature. Entering basically is get involved in something which is of public nature. Get involved in all these activities. Let us say in Mumbai, if you are in a resident welfare association, how often have you met your corporator? How often have you gone ahead and met your MLA? How often have you taken a delegation to meet your MP? Just be involved with your political representatives and you will realize that the world is not as bad as what you make it out to be. But be involved in the process, understand the process, and then be a part of the process.